Hey guys, it's Matt with BleepinJeep, and today we're at Pull Apart in Atlanta, Georgia. I've got 11 tips and tricks for you while you're out on the yard. Let's get started. Alright, tip number 1. Go ahead and remove your part before you come. There's 2 reasons to do this, and that is you know which tools to use. I needed an 8mm socket and a pair of dikes, so I can just bring those if that's all I'm searching for. But also, if I were to break something else, like this wiring harness, then I could just go ahead and grab it while I'm there at Pull Apart. Tip number 2. I've got a lot of tools that I like to bring with me sometimes because I may not know what I'm looking for. But the best thing to do is leave them in the car because you never know if they might have anything that you want or they don't. And it's hard to carry around all this stuff back and forth. Once you find everything you need, then you can go back and get the tools, go get your stuff. Tip number 3. When you pull apart, make sure to get the nuts and bolts and screws that go along with it. I can't tell you how many times I've brought a part home and I didn't have the screws, the nuts, or the bolts to attach it. Tip number 4. Let's say you've got a nut or a bolt that's just too stubborn and you can't get it. Look through the yard. Find yourself a tailpipe. Introducing breaker bar tailpipe. Give this a shot. Tip number 5. If you've got a really stubborn bolt that just won't come loose, it's always best to bring a penetrating oil like PB Blaster. But if you forgot, the next best thing is going to be brake fluid. Grab something you can stick down there. Get you a little bit of brake fluid and put that on your nut or bolt. It'll loosen it right up, and then you can take it off. Tip number 6. Check out what I found in a van down by the river. I need to get under this Jeep, but I don't want to get in the wetness. It just rained. But I also don't want to get that on my back, so I found this. And you can find all kinds of stuff. You can find carpets, you can find floorboards, anything. Put that down on the ground and save your back. Tip number 7. Check surrounding vehicles for your part. Let's say somebody was trying to get an engine out of this vehicle. They might have been throwing parts onto the ground. When the cleanup crew comes, they need to clean up the aisles. So they might pick up that part. They don't know where it came from. So they'll throw it into that vehicle. So whenever you're searching for something and it's missing, check the surrounding vehicles to see if your part might have gotten mixed up. Tip number 8. When you're done with your tools, always put them back in your toolbox immediately. If you leave them in there, you're going to forget them and you'll never see them again. Tip number 9. Keep your eye out for special gems. If you know anything about the Cherokees, you know that's a find right there. But it's not just this fan, it could be anything. Aftermarket parts, specialty bumpers, even York compressors. So keep your eye out for those gems. If you see them, not only could you keep them for yourself, but you could sell them on eBay and make a profit. Here's a good one. Tip number 10. You probably know that you can't bring full-size batteries onto the yard, but you can bring these, like for your cordless drill, a little Ryobi battery. So what you do is you just take some electrical tape, wrap it around there, and then you stick 2 alligator clips in there on the leads. Now you can use the other ends to do all sorts of things, like roll up and down windows, unlock doors, test fans, anything like that. I can even test this fuel injector. So check it out. I'm just going to take one end, put it on there. Now if you listen real close, when I touch the other end, you'll be able to hear it click. That means it's working. Tip number 11, extra wire. Find yourself an old van like this, or maybe a long truck, and take the wiring harness out. Now you're not supposed to tear apart people's wiring harnesses that they might be able to use, but if you're cutting this out and you're buying it, then it's yours. So get yourself as long a piece as you can, and you just have probably 300 foot of wire right there. Now can you imagine how much that would cost at the parts store? 300 feet of wire, that's like $75, maybe $150 depending on the wire, and it only comes in 3 colors. Right here, I've got pinks, I've got blues, reds, any color you can think of. So when I go to add that accessory, I can use different color wires so I don't get all mixed up. Alright, I know I said 11, But here's 2 more bonus tips for you junkyard pros. Now I'm using my Ryobi powered battery drill here. I've got the battery out. What I want to do is pull the engine out of this Jeep, but I don't know how many miles it has on it. So what I've done, I pulled the dash out. Now I'm going to probe behind, light this up, and see how many miles it's got. So I just put black on black, negative on negative, and then I probed around. I found that the pink was positive. And I don't know if you can see that, but it's got 130,000 miles, 130,815. Pretty low mileage. Awesome. Bonus tip number 2. Now Pull Apart does a great job with labeling all of their vehicles on the rear quarter panel here. We've got the year, we've got the make, the model, we've got the date that it was put out on the yard, so the newer the better. You'll have more parts on it, and you can check this all through the website. But it also has right here on the tag the VIN number. So there's 2 websites that you can put this VIN number in and get all kinds of other information. Decode This and VIN Decoders with a Z. So we'll put those links in the description below. If you're on your smartphone out here on the yard, you can check that really quick, find out all kinds of other stuff on this Jeep. Alright guys, thanks for watching. This is Matt with BleepinJeep. I do hope that you got a lot of use out of those tips and tricks. We'll see you in the next video.